Welcome to That Guy's a Maniac, the podcast. This is episode 22. 22. That's mental. We are the podcast that tells you about...
Can we just pause the podcast?
Yeah.
I'm doing really well so far, I think. How about you?
Yeah, progress report is pretty bad. Yeah. I'm going to start from the top again.
You should have kept it in.
I did keep it in, don't worry. I'll just pause it for a second. Okay, let's go. Welcome to That Guy's a Maniac, the podcast. This is episode 22. Your host as ever is myself, Richie, and also with me, I have my beautiful assistant, Farley, aka Cunzy11. Say hello, Farley.
Hello.
We are the duo behind the website www.thatguys.co.uk. We also have many social media feeds which you can follow us on, or indeed send us DMs. I think probably Farley has far too many DMs, but there we go. And yeah, you can find us on @ThatGuy'sAManiac. Tell me, how do we keep this podcast alive?
Well, with the rich technical setup, studios that we record, the army of researchers that works for us, we couldn't do this without some financial support, Richie, especially in these trying times. So this podcast is sponsored this week by Candy's Save Point. Candy's Save Point for all your saving needs. That's Candy's Save Point. Thank you, Candy's Save Point.
Yeah, big thank you to Candy's Save Point. Okay.
Independent business owner, independent female business owner, Candy Kong. So it's important to support local business, independent business. Okay. And we thank that they support us too.
Yeah, idiots. Right, okay, so tell me what we're going to be talking about today, Farley.
Well, Richie, as you know, and hopefully as listeners to the podcast know, I don't know why we're doing silly voices.
I don't know. I tried doing the professional voice for "Welcome to That Guy's a Maniac," the podcast, as if I was like a DJ in the 90s. Hey, Buckers, you know.
I'm a big fan, not just of the thinking and talking about the games that we like to play, but also the kind of, I guess if you're being super wanky about it, the ethnography of games, right? So not just talking about, oh yeah, I played this game and I liked it, but this game reminds me of this time period, or like this console, or I was just listening to our 1996 episode and all the music and stuff that was going on at the time. And when we were discussing what to talk about in the last podcast, I kind of fell into a bit of a Donkey Kong hole, if you like. It's a weird thing to say. Largely prompted by Donkey Kong Country hitting the SNES Virtual Console on the Nintendo Switch a couple of weeks ago. And so I kind of jumped on. It had been a while since I was a bit shocked. It had been a while since I'd logged into the SNES app on the Switch, and so there were like 9 games that I hadn't.
Is Mario RPG one of them yet?
No, it's not. It's not one of them yet. That, however, as we discussed, is on the SNES Mini, which you're then like, I'm not that bothered actually. It's my favourite game. When are they going to fucking release it? I was like, it's on the SNES Mini. Wow, now that it's available, not that bothered.
I don't need another peripheral under my TV. I got that stupid Commodore 64 thing one, you know? Oh dear.
So yeah, that popped up, and I have good memories of Donkey Kong Country. So back when I was a sprog, a young lad, there were a couple of other lads that we used to hang out with, and early on we started hanging out to play things like Warhammer. So we'd all bundle around someone's house and set up our little figures and play for a weekend, and then after a certain time, that slowly got replaced by sitting around playing games. And so that's my earliest memories of the SNES. And you know how, what do we call them? Conservatory kings. Before
Oh God!
before we were all connected to what's going on, and now you can barely miss a big game release by the fallout or the people who are angry before a game's even come out. But back then you had none of that, and so we played hours of Clay Fighter, and it wasn't until much later it was like, well, actually, Clay Fighter's not a very good game, but we liked it. We spent hours on it. Street Fighter, Star Fox, and then Donkey Kong Country was one of the other ones that we played. So I've got a lot of nostalgia. It takes me back to hanging around people's houses and taking it in turns to play Donkey Kong and getting stuck on certain missions. And then that kind of inspired me to then be like, oh, I'm going to pick up some other stuff. So, how much Donkey Kong have you ever played or interacted with?
I played the old 2D arcadey one where he chucks the barrels down at Mario, or Jumpman, as he was then. And I think I had a little go at Donkey Kong Country when it came out in the SNES, and I was just like, ugh, this is rubbish. And I haven't touched it since.
Wow. Okay. You're gonna have a lot to say.
I mean, it just seemed like a poor man's Mario to me,
A poor man's Mario. Well, this is one of the things. I love the characters. Probably one of the reasons that I periodically get excited about the series is the music. So the music's from the arcade game is. I'm going to try and not say phenomenal because I say phenomenal a lot. Fantastic. I
you just said it twice by hanging a lampshade on it. Lampshade.
The music is very good. It's the music's phenomenal. I really like the kind of attention to detail in that the limited. I don't know if the arcade machine had it, but the limited music that can be made on the NES, they still kind of reuse those tunes all the way through, and so you kind of find them popping up. I mean, the soundtrack for Donkey Kong Country was just ridiculously good. Not only from the kind of jungle themed songs, things like DK Rap, which is there's kind of lots of memes about, but also the sticker brush symphony, and then the kind of trancey underwater music. So lots of remixes and YouTube videos of the Donkey Kong music. But despite that, I'm not very good at any of the Donkey Kong games, I think. And so this is what I found out. So I put on Donkey Kong Country. That was okay, but it's quite hard. And then it reminded me that I picked up Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Wii, but hadn't finished it. So I boot up I think that came out in 2010, which is kind of scary when you kind of put a game to a side and you think, oh, I'll come back to that, but then you actually look at
how long exactly. Yeah. And I've had the same thoughts as well. I because of my weird fixation of having to do things in order that I've kind of got rid of. I have left a lot of games in the past and thought, right, okay, when can I pick this up? What game do I need to play in order to let me play this new version? And it turns out it's from 2006 and it was on 360. Like, oh, okay. I have to go back a long time and different systems in order to allow myself to play the new version of this game. But
because they keep porting Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. So I think it came out on the Wii U, ported to 3DS, and I think it's out on Switch. And so to me, I'm like, oh yeah, I like Donkey Kong games. The music is probably good. And then look, I was like, oh, but I have to finish Donkey Kong Country Returns. I don't have, mentally I have to finish Donkey Kong Country Returns first. And yeah, it's that save game's from 2011.
Mental.
9 year gap. So I picked it up. I was on level 3. It's a minecart level, and it's just really fucking hard. I imagine it was easier.
I haven't played it, but the fact that it's a minecart level, I can already see what it is, and it's just about knowing that you have to switch the switch at this particular time to jump off and get onto a ledge at another thing. I can already see it in my mind.
Yeah,
am I right?
Yes, it's not a classic Donkey Kong minecart level, or maybe it transitions into one. I don't know. But with this one, it starts you. There's a bunch of moles, and they've got a whole bunch of bananas and a train of minecarts, of course. And so you, in the initial part of the level, you and Diddy Kong are on a minecart that's following this small train of 5 minecarts. And then a mole will pop up and throw a pickaxe at you, but it throws the pickaxe at 2 heights. So there's one height where you can jump over it, one height where you can duck under it, but everything's kind of moving at speed. And so you kind of avoid the pickaxes, and then your cart catches up, and then you have to jump on moles as they pop out the bananas, but you can't jump on them once they're popping out because they come out claws first. And then I've got through to the second phase of that, where he starts throwing bombs as well as pickaxes, I'm just not very good at it, and it's very difficult. I think what also makes it difficult is they gave Donkey Kong an expanded moveset, a lot of which rely on you shaking the Wiimote.
Okay.
And
that's super accurate, isn't it? For those clutch moments.
I think it's fine because it just registers that you're shaking it. So if you're running and you shake it, you do a roll, and you need to do a roll a lot.
Okay.
There are certain jumps you can make the roll, but then if you hold down and shake it, I think he does like an air blowing move. So there's things hidden in the background which you kind of blow. So I think it's one of those things where maybe if I was playing back in 2010 and holding a Wiimote sideways and shaking it every now and then whilst you're also pressing buttons would have been far more natural. But now it just feels really awkward. So you're trying to make all these really finely tuned, fast-paced movements, and it's like holding it feels like holding a brick in your hand.
Yeah. That was definitely a gripe that I had with the Wii at the time. It's just like, look at all of these cool controls, and then it's just like, why do I have to wave it in the air in order for me to do a thing? I remember being pissed off about Mario Kart, because like one of the control methods for that was, in order to do like mid-air speed boosts or tricks or whatever, you had to wiggle, the Wiimote, and it would sometimes, actually register it, or at the times where you had to, like, it was really tense and you had to get it, you would wiggle it so much that you would like lose control of the buttons you were pressing, and then so you would land and you'd have to sort of reset and get your hands back in the right place. And it's just like, oh, why make that a mechanic? There was I think you could change the controls, but it's like when you go around to a mate's house and you're sort of saying, I want to play Mario Kart. And I'm like, okay, cool. Can we go in and change the setup for the controls, because I don't like the wiggly thing. It is a bit of a...
It's interesting that a Mario Kart player of your caliber used to struggle with things like that. So I thought you were international world champion. In
I am Billy Big Balls. I'm
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, there is another way to do those tricks. You have to reset the controller. Okay. I would never play it like a casual noob,
So you put on easy mode?
No. Strange. I put it on proper mode. Fucking wiggling the joypad is for 5-year-olds or your parents.
It's the purest way of playing it.
No.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely not the purest way. It's a bastardized fake way of playing it. The purest way of playing it, we all know, is on the GameCube controllers.
Hey, well, the pauper king of Mario Kart, live on the podcast. Anyway,
move on.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, I think it's jarring to go back to. It just doesn't feel like a natural thing to do. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to. and exactly as you say, then your fingers are sliding off the buttons, or you've got that second delay, and when you've got pickaxes flying at you, it's not good enough. So kind of flunked out of that level after going through all my lives a couple of times and getting the embarrassing, it looks like you're struggling. Cranky Kong gives you a bunch of balloons on the title screen. As was the way with Wii platforms at the time, character pops up at the beginning of the levels like, are you sure you don't need Super Guide on? I don't fucking need Super Guide on. So I flunked out of the level, and then went back to the past 3 levels to see, how well have I done? And again, it just feels unnecessary. I guess it's because I was just playing the SNES version. But there's just so much to do. So not only the SNES Donkey Kong Country, do you have to find the KONG letters hidden around the levels. So some of them are obvious, some of them are tricky jumps, some of them are hidden in a pitfall, hidden in a wall you have to break, or you have to collect all the bananas in this area and then you get a piece. So there's Kong to spell, and then there's a bunch of puzzle pieces hidden around each level. And they're kind of more hidden than the letters. And some of them are really hidden. You have to do really weird things. You go, right, okay, there's a puzzle piece there. Including some bonus rooms, which are quite hard. You have a minute to collect all the bananas, and they're whizzing around in a circle, and you're on trampolines which are moving left or right, and there's one that you can't get, and you're seeing the timer run out, and you go, okay, so I'm not going to get this fucking puzzle piece on this run. And then there's a time challenge mode. So I was going back through the levels, and I've done none of those things for any. Like the first level, I think first couple of levels I had Kong for, but I had no, 1 or 2 puzzle pieces. So that prompted me. Yeah, go on.
Take me back to 2011 Farley playing his Wii, wherever he may have been studying or actually working, thinking, I'm playing through this game, why didn't you do those time trials?
I can tell you exactly why I didn't do those. I think I'd obviously got so frustrated doing it. You know how you flip-flop, what's a good game? The Lego games. So you know how it's going to pan out, right? So normally with a Lego game is you go through the story and you have fixed characters, and there's just shit you cannot get. So you'll see, a glowing red wall, which can only be used by a Sith character in the Lego style.
Or you'll see somebody behind a wall that has to be mind controlled, but you don't have a mind control character yet.
Yeah. And at the time you're playing through, you do not have that character. So the sensible, time-efficient thing to do is I'm going to have to come back and do all these levels again, but I'll have a wider range of characters to do it, and some of this shit will be easier. So just burn through the story to unlock all the story characters and some money, and then come back and do it. But then inevitably you end up going, I'll try. I'm quite close to getting, collecting the studs that you need to get the whatever it is, Jedi Master or True Avenger. So I'll do that. So very much in that same vein of playing efficiently, I think I was like, okay, I'm not going to get all these things. Hit the credits first, so that I can go onto my backloggery and say I've beaten the game, and then go back through, probably with a guide, to be honest, because fuck looking at 13 different things and doing a time limit. Hoover up all those collectibles systematically to eventually get the gold. So I'd clearly 9 years ago given up on that, because there's nothing on these levels. When you hover over the level, you've got 3 little icons, and they were all just empty. So I don't know. I've kind of given up twice on that. Even though it's a very good game. I heard that Tropical Freeze, a lot of people didn't like Tropical Freeze, even though essentially it's just a sequel to Donkey Kong Country Returns. I've not touched that. But that got me thinking about other Donkey Kong games. Obviously you've got Donkey Kong in Mario Kart and Smash Brothers. It has these, Donkey Kong themed levels, the Smash levels on Donkey Kong were quite cool.
You get Donkey Konga as well.
Yeah, Donkey Konga, which I didn't play. I think I only ever played Donkey Kong Country 1 and not the many different versions afterwards. I think it was 3 after that.
All right.
And some of them went onto the Game Boy as well. I did have probably one of the earliest games I ever played was Donkey Kong Jr. on the Game & Watch. And I've picked that up on the 3DS when they released them. Because initially, do you remember what was it called? The Nintendo Stars catalog.
Yes.
Yeah. So you get a game, and in the game would be a little voucher. Actually, let's talk about this because it's very, very recent. So Nintendo's account systems are just ridiculous.
They're awful. Absolutely awful. I don't even know which one I'm even signing into anymore.
I know. And so yesterday, I saw a tweet from Nintendo Europe. So occasionally they give away free stuff, right? So if you've got enough, and this is on the new system. So they scotched the Stars catalog stuff, and then they turned it into Nintendo Home.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about what the Stars catalog was.
Okay, so the Stars catalog, when you bought a DS, Wii game inside the game case, or if you did it digitally, I think it was automatically going to account. You get a little piece of paper with a scratch-off code. Scratch off that code, go to the website, type in the code. Then you'd have to fill out a survey about the game. So, who was it who bought the game? How old are you? How many people in the game?
Over and over again for every single version.
Every single game.
And basically, the stars get credited to your account as a kind of Nintendo currency.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you could redeem those stars for things. A lot of times they're physical things. I don't think in the Stars catalog you could get vouchers off of games. I'm not too sure.
I don't think it was vouchers. Things that I got the Mario hat.
Yeah.
And I got stuff like I think it was like Ocarina of Time ringtones. So basically some MP3 sounds from Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
and
really.
Wallpaper, Luigi wallpaper for my phone. And so I've no idea what resolution that even was, but yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah, so this is I forgot about. Do you remember when ringtones was just an industry? Just everything was about.
Yeah,
ringtones.
everything is like, dial this number to get your ringtones. And what the fuck?
Adverts on TV for like, get a crazy frog ringtone, or get some farting pig version of the Macarena on your phone. Weird, because that's largely that's what gone now. But yes, you can get ringtones and you can get wallpapers. Some of the stuff I got from there, it was just really poor quality. So there were ridiculous things. Yes, occasionally a Samus statue would come up, or a Link statue would come up, and you'd pretty much have to be buying every single big game when it came out to have anywhere near the
multiple copies of it. Yeah,
just to get this overpriced Link statue. So there were a couple of key rings that I got. I think just because I could afford them, and also it's free to play bit in real life. Your stars would periodically expire. So you get an email saying, you've got this many stars about to expire. I think, all right, what can I get? And then, you'd pick up Luigi wallpaper and a Fire Emblem MIDI ringtone. One of the things I got was a metal case that held 4 DS games. It's like a diamond and pearl metal case, which I still have. But when it came,
that sounds like a bargain if it was made from diamond and pearl.
Yeah, it's made from diamond. But when it came, hang on, I'm gonna find it. I think it's nearby. When it turned up, here it is. So it's this little DS Lite.
Look, viewers, look, viewers, look at our wonderful diamond and pearl case.
And you flip it up. I hold 8 DS games set in.
Okay.
Bonus.
Bonus.
And on the front, you've got Dialga and Palkia, the legendary Pokemon from those games. And underneath Dialga, it says Pokemon version Diamante. And under Palkia, it says Pokemon version Palle. So, I think this is in Spanish, which was not.
Was that your
advertised.
Spanish accent? It was a very Italian Spanish accent.
Anyway, I didn't know. I was looking at it. Is that Spanish? Is it? It could be Dutch, even French. So fantastic! I've got a French thing, but actually, this case saved some games. So on the top of it, you can't see Palkia's face anymore, because our Billy bookcase was overloaded and collapsed, and the whole thing fell sideways and landed on this DS case. But because it's made of metal, it didn't penetrate it. But now it's got like a bullet hole on the top.
That's so cool.
I know, complaining about it, but actually, save some games. I'll put if I remember. What we on episode 22? I'll put a photo of that on the when we tweet it out. So that was the Stars catalogue. Yeah, picked up a couple of shit. But importantly, when you ordered it, you wouldn't have to pay. Right? You just cash in your stars, and then 6 to 8 weeks later, something would turn up at your door. Then they shifted, and now we have this bizarre multi-account system. So for a while, it was all over the shop because you had a different account for your DS, and then if you were playing Pokemon and connecting to online or the Dream World, you had
you had the GTS account,
the trainer account, and then they kind of synthesized some of the stuff, so you just had one Nintendo account, but then you had to create a different account for My Nintendo, which is where you can link some of the stuff you do in the shop with that's when all the mobile phone stuff was coming out, right?
Yeah.
So Miitomo and all of those apps. Total nightmare. Anyway, so yesterday on the Nintendo European Twitter, they occasionally say, "Oh, here's this new item, this new free item that comes with." Oh, and then now of course you've got your Nintendo Switch online account. So there are certain things you can only get if you're paying for Nintendo Switch Online. It's quite a lot actually, but it's a bit strange. And that some of that includes access to limited edition things that they put through the Nintendo Switch Online shop, which is different from the Nintendo UK online store. Fuck off! Just make it one fucking thing. And so I've got a couple of things to that. So you berated me for this, but I did actually pony up for the Swizz? Oh my god.
The Swiss? The Swiss people? Pony up for the Swiss.
The Swiss. Yeah, so the entirety of the Swiss came up on the Nintendo Online store, and I had enough points, so I thought...
Just buy the Swiss?
I'll buy the population of Switzerland, sure.
Yeah, did you get a Nazi gold as well?
Nintendo, no, just the people, unfortunately.
Oh.
The Nintendo Switch NES controllers. So you couldn't buy them. I mean, you couldn't spend.
Yeah, I remember berating you for this purely because they've got like a limited number of buttons. Oh, it's a little annoying.
So they're not universal. I also bought the SNES one as well. And now both of those things regularly come up heavily discounted. So stupid me for buying them. However, I think as we discussed before, it is much better. When we played Super Mario Bros. 2, it was good to have a NES controller.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
What is Super Mario Bros. 2? What is Super Mario Bros.? It's the Dark Souls of Mario Kart.
Watch our YouTube video of us playing Super Mario Bros. 2 to find out why it is the Dark Souls of America.
What YouTube video is that?
Sorry, it's our podcast, our second podcast.
No, it's Super Mario World. We haven't done Mario Brothers 2.
Did we just do that in real life? I thought we did it on podcast. Oh.
Yeah, no, we did it in real life. It was like, I came over and bought crisps. Awful crisps. Sorry, I'm completely ruining your flow.
No, it's fine. That would have been a really good video. So yeah, you'll never find out why Super Mario Bros. Does the Dark Souls America. That's lost in the lore. So, occasionally they offer these free things. They're not free because you're already paying for Nintendo Switch online subscription, and then you have to have enough points. And the way you get points is you every time you buy a game, and you make sure you claim the points if it's a physical game, that adds gold coins. And then there's numerous ways to generate silver coins. So if you do these 3 things in Mario Run, you get a handful of silver coins.
Fucking
log in some
dual currency.
If you log into My Nintendo every week, you'll get some. If you advance the story in Fire Emblem Heroes, you get some. There's a whole bunch for Animal Crossing, and then you can use those dual currencies to then buy shit for all those apps, or you get software discounts for Wii U and Nintendo 3DS games, not Switch games, and those will be specific. You can still buy things like photo backgrounds for things, wallpapers.
Okay.
With these points. And there's some other stuff that I'm forgetting. So anyway, Nintendo of Europe, tweet out. We're now giving away this free. It's the Dodo Airlines from the new Animal Crossing tote bag for free.
Oh, okay.
So for 400 platinum points, and I've got the platinum points, fine. But what they don't tell you about this, and it's the same. They did something with Hanafuda cards, and they did something else. Is you can use your points to get them, but you have to pay like £8 postage. And so there was a Splatoon shirt, there were some Splatoon posters for the final Splatfest. And yesterday, this system did not work. But because we had so many accounts, you got 3 web pages open. So you go to My Nintendo, and then you find it in the news. You go, that's the thing that I want. Then you redeem your points, which gives you a code. It then has a list, because we're PAL, in the PAL region. There's a list of, here's the web page you need. You click on that web page. It takes you to the Nintendo online system shop. It'll take you to the product page of the thing. But as it turns out, for the whole of yesterday and most of today, there was no button to add it to the cart.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, but it wasn't clear what the problem was.
It's great when a store or a shop just doesn't have the button to actually allow you to buy the thing you want to buy.
To buy the thing you want to buy. So, okay, I can't add it to my cart, but I have this code. I can't put the code in anywhere. If you go to the checkout, it says you've got nothing in your bag. Anyway, total nonsense. Why did I start talking about that? Who knows? I can't remember. But whilst I was there, I remember. So yeah, whilst I was there, I saw that I could also redeem my points for a discount off of Mario vs Donkey Kong Minis on the Move. So I picked that up for £5. So actually, the majority of the Donkey Kong games that I've played have been spin-offs, side games, or games that they cameo in, rather than the actual games. So I played Mario and Rabbids on the Switch.
Yeah.
Which is really good, really good.
It's XCOM with Mario with the Nintendo characters, isn't it?
Yeah, and Rabbids, which is is a cliche to say, but it's probably one of the craziest collaborations that you think you wouldn't have predicted that that would have worked, B, that the game itself would have been good, or C, that out of that collaboration would come a turn-based strategy game, which neither Mario or the Rabbids games are. But yeah, that's really good. I recommend it. It's nowhere near as advanced as XCOM and stuff. Have you played any in the XCOM type series?
I did, but I have no recollection of it. Like, it was just a game. It's such a placid. No, it's a beige game. I mean, I know it's not beige. It's all fucking sci-fi, sort of dystopian and all that sort of stuff. But, like, it just sort of immediately ejects from my brain. You know what I mean? Like, I
it just doesn't
care or remember it really.
Pop.
It's just like, oh, you've got to play XCOM. It's really good. And yeah, it's one of these ones that I own somewhere and have installed, but just didn't. There's many other games I should have installed instead. Divinity 2.
Yeah, as discussed. So that's really good. And then the Mini Mario, also confusingly known as the Mario vs. Donkey Kong kind of side spin-off where you play as the little toys. Have you played any of those?
No.
Okay. Well, there's one that you can play for free, and I recommend it. Well, you won't, but I recommend it. It's a free game. So do you remember on the Wii U and the 3DS there were a bunch of... Hey, we know you've all bought amiibos and there's not really much for you to do with them. So here's some games that you can play by tapping your amiibos.
Yeah.
So the one on the Wii U was it's just shit. So, say you've got 3 amiibos, you tap your amiibo on the Wii U, and it will give you time limited, so you'll play the first 30 seconds of Metroid.
Oh God, yes. Yeah, I remember this.
And then that's it. And then you tap your second amiibo, and it will unlock 3 little scenes you can play in. I don't know. F-Zero. You can play 30 seconds of F-Zero on 3 different levels. So the equivalent to that, sort of, when they released the Mario series of amiibos, so the ones with the red bases, was a game called Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge. And the reason why I'm recommending the download is because I know you have all of those amiibos.
Oh yeah, of course.
And it's stupid because essentially it's a really nice mini Mario game where each of the characters have different skills. Toad can squeeze, so they walk automatically. So you have a look at a level, and there'll be jumps, and there'll be fire traps, and there'll be girders, and there'll be blocks you have to move. So once you tap your character, it will just walk in a straight line. And then if it's Mario, when it hits a wall, it will jump up and jump off. If it's Peach, it'll just turn. I can't remember what Peach does. She turns around and does something else. And so you kind of, you fill out the level on the fly by moving stuff around and try and get your little character to a goal whilst picking up other stuff. It's fun. It's a nice fun game, but it's so scuzzy because if you have, for example, if you've just got the Toad amiibo, you can play the first 2 levels, and then it unlocks like a road. So you can imagine Super Mario World, that kind of road. Which basically
means you need to have another amiibo in that series so you can play the next bits.
So you can play the 5 Toad levels, and then in each level there's 2 cards to pick up, and you need those cards to unlock the levels on, which is essentially like Star Island.
Right, okay, yeah.
So in order to see the whole thing, you need all 12 of the Mario series amiibos. It's just so
Super
scuzzy.
scuzzy. I think
Yeah,
the use of amiibos and especially in the games is really weird. The weirdest one and the most use that I've had of one is in Mario Odyssey.
oh yeah.
And quite oddly, if you just tap Peach, you just get full life.
Can you do it multiple times? Or is it like once a day?
Yeah. No, you can do it as much as you want. I don't even think there's that much of a cooldown on it. I can't tell you off the top of my mind. But all I remember is like being in a boss fight and thinking, I just need to have Peach, and then tap her and look, there's me full health again.
It's like a £15 cheat code.
Yeah, although I think I got all of mine as gifts, so happy days.
Oh, there we go.
But yeah, still, like, that is literally when I was playing Mario Odyssey, I was playing it with a little Peach doll beside me constantly.
I love them. It has little statues. I think it's fun, especially because in the UK we've historically just been starved of game-related merchandise. So it's like a nice thing that we can actually have little physical dollies of the characters that we love. But yeah, it's endlessly disappointed that they don't do more with them. So there are some games like Fire Emblem Warriors, where every day you can tap an amiibo and you get some random gear. Same is true in Resident Evil Revelations 2, and there's a couple of other games that do that. There's just so much more.
Yeah, I mean, like, Breath of the Wild is fucking nuts. Like, if you were to do the dailies in Breath of the Wild for all of the amiibos that it can do, is absolutely... It's not even a nice thing. It's like you have to switch your skill to be, like, I can now use things, use amiibos, so you switch that to your skill. You tap an amiibo on and a chest falls from the sky. Then you have to tap another amiibo on, and there can only be a certain number of chests on the screen as well. And you just do this over and over and over and over until you've got like a full inventory of the best weapons possible, and you do this every day. And it's like, what is this game? Why have they not thought this through? It's like, this is not the first time a daily quest has been done, Ugh.
And it's and the tapping of amiibos is not fun. That's what I don't. It's not. There's nothing fun about it. And similar thing with Fire Emblem Warriors. It's just the. I mean, this is a really niche complaint, but just the way you do it is so. You have to go to the special section and then you find the amiibo setting, and you press yes, and it'll say tap an amiibo, and you tap an amiibo. And then the menu will disappear, and then you have to click again on the amiibo button, and it will say tap on amiibo. It's like, for fuck's sake, you're either the kind of person who has one or two amiibos that you're going to tap, or you're the kind of person who's sitting there with 40 and you're going to tap all 40, right? You're living the best life by making the most out of amiibos, and you have to go this really boring menu.
Best life is debatable there.
Well, if you've decided to be like, actually, I am going to invest in. I'm gonna use this amiibo system that comes with this game. Just let me just rapid fire do it. Jesus Christ, I do like the Smash stuff, and they keep sneaking in. I don't know if you saw. We're not talking about Donkey Kong anymore. But I don't know if you saw. There was an update yesterday for Smash Brothers. And they're just constantly tweaking quality of life. So now you can randomly. There's a random level select, but you can choose whether you want just any random stage, or a random battlefield stage, or a random Amiga stage, whereas before you couldn't. You'd have to pick those, or if you had random, you can only have the random full version of the level, which is nice. And they did some cool stuff. They have been doing some cool stuff with the amiibos, so you can now send them on journeys. So Unfortunately, it's not great because you have to sit and watch a bar of your amiibo off in the world fighting, and then you can choose whether or not you want to see the match that just happened. So it's a bit slow. But they had some tournaments, some online tournaments where you could fight with your amiibo, and that was super fun.
Cool.
So you and your amiibo kind of buddied up to take on somebody else and their amiibo online. That was good. So that's probably some of the best integration I've seen. Anyway, so I do recommend if you have some of the Mario amiibos and you are truly bored, Mini Mario and Friends, it is in its heart a good game, but it's very scuzzy. I downloaded Mario vs Donkey Kong Minis on the Move, and again that's a fun little game. So you are looking at like a little tile set, and then your little clockwork Mario will pop up out of a pipe, and then on the right hand side you've got tiles to fit in, so you kind of have to put a route together for Mario on the fly, and then once the route's complete he'll march off to the goal pipe, and there are 3 M's to pick up. So it starts really simple, and the first 5 levels are really straightforward, but then you get tile pieces where you can dump your other tile pieces into it to give you a magical tile which will automatically link 2 pieces because you've got kind of fixed tile shapes going out. Anyway, fun. But again, it ended up me being yet another Donkey Kong adjacent game that I'm playing rather than a main Donkey Kong game.
Yep. But one thing we haven't talked about is the weird lineage in Donkey Kong. It's like it's all a big family. They're all related, or sort of.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about where it all fits in. Like I think is it Grandpa Kong or whatever he is actually the original Donkey Kong that was in the thing that was throwing barrels at Jumpman.
Yeah,
that.
Donkey Kong Country opens up with Cranky Kong standing on the red girders from the original Donkey Kong game, playing the gramophone, which plays that cool little ditty from the beginning of Donkey Kong, and then Donkey Kong jumps down with his ghetto blaster, which is so painfully 90s. I think there's some discussion as to whether Donkey Kong is the Donkey Kong Jr. from Donkey Kong Jr., or whether there's another generation in between.
Okay.
And then,
I'm sure the online forums are filled full of great intellectuals debating that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's Diddy Kong Man 99 has put together this amazing graphical timeline of when all the games occur, and the spin-off games and the ones which are alternate dimension. Fortunately, well, I don't know because I've not played many of the main series games. They have this stupid extended cast, right? Where you've got Candy Kong, Funky Kong, Swanky Kong, all of that lot. But unlike Sonic games, they've just kept them in the background, and they've not come to the forefront.
Okay.
Or have had their own games, I don't think. And then Diddy Kong and what's her face?
Oh God, what is her face?
Dixie Kong?
Dixie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dixie Kong.
Yeah. Did you ever play Diddy Kong Racing?
No.
No, me neither.
It's poor man's Mario Kart.
Exactly. It's poor man's Speed Freaks. But I did like what is it? When Diddy Kong and Fox encounter Rayquaza in Super Smash Bros. Subspace Emissary mode. That was a crossover that I didn't think. So there's a little cutscene. So the Subspace Emissary spends a lot of time in whatever the Donkey Kong jungle. So it's weird to see Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong get quite so much play.
Yeah.
5-0. And then one of the cool cutscenes before you fight the Pokemon Rayquaza is I think Diddy Kong's just walking along, and then Rayquaza has a go at him, and then he's saved by Fox from Star Fox and Arwing.
Okay.
It's just so cool. Which is just so cool. Like, okay, yeah.
Mental. Okay.
Interaction I never thought I'd wanted to see until I saw it, and that's kind of cool.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
So what else should we talk about Donkey Kong wise? Is there anything else?
I don't know. It's one of those. I don't know. Do you have a game series like it where you like it and you like the characters and you like the music, but you've not actually really engaged with it very much?
No, there's probably a ton of them, to be honest. Like, I could look at my catalogs. Yeah.
I'm really fond of it, and I get excited when there's an announcement. Or when when King K. Rool, for example, was announced for Smash. I was like, oh,
yeah,
I'm glad he's in it. I've never played against him. I've never got to him as a boss in any of the games. But glad he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to kind
I
of,
suppose probably a good example of me doing that would be like Final Fantasy 13. Like, I played through it, did some of the end game stuff. I really enjoyed 13-2, and then I was super stoked, super excited for Lightning Returns. I think I played it for an hour, and then I was like super excited about like all of the real world fashion Lightning was doing to promo the game and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, just done. Not played it. Not gonna play it.
Who knows? Yeah, wait until it's 10 years away and then go back to it.
I think it probably is about 10 years away now. I mean, we're on what, Final Fantasy 16 nowadays?
Yeah, I guess. I've heard nothing about that. Is that?
I literally have the box in my hand right now. Like 2013. Wow.
Okay,
there you
so
go.
another 3 years, and then you can
Yeah, I can play it legitimately.
you can go back to it and go, oh my god, is this what 2010 RPGs are like?
Or I could buy it for another system as well. Buy it for the Steam.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's the classic Richie thing to do. Wait, I don't know. Wait until the bundle comes out. The Final Fantasy 13 retrospective bundle comes out. Then buy it, but don't download it.
Yeah, I own it. I'm happy I own it. I'll get the bundle for, even though I completed everything in Final Fantasy, 13-2, I'll get the bundle with it in there as well, just in case I ever fancy playing it on the PC. For the entirety of the 150 hours that I've spent on it.
But you wouldn't ever just jump into Lightning Returns because you're like, well, I have to play through them in order.
Even though I have.
Yeah.
Oh god. Right. I think let's call it for now. Unless there's anything more you wanted to say. Yeah?
No, that's it. Just I appreciate Donkey Kong is out there. And there's lots of ways for people, young and old, to get their hands on some free Donkey Kong content.
Fucking hell, is Nintendo paying you?
Do it. Yeah, they are. After my rave review, of their online shop system. Oh, there's one more thing that I didn't say about the Stars thing, is that unlike Japan and North America, we got hardly anything in the Stars catalogue.
Oh no, we got fuck all. We got fucking. What did the British public like? Ringtones. Like fuck off.
Yeah, and in Japan and America there'd be CDs, there would be whole games. That's why I was talking. So the Game & Watch, there was a Game & Watch compilation game that came out and was only available through the Nintendo Stars catalogue. I don't think it ever came to the EU. And so I was like, oh, I really would have liked to have played through Donkey Kong Jr. or Snoopy Tennis, although I don't think Snoopy Tennis was on there probably. And I thought that was it. I thought that's my one chance. It's gone. But then years later, they released a lot of them as individual downloads on the Nintendo shop. So I did end up picking it up. That's why I started talking about the shitty shop. Okay, yeah, good. We're at the end. Close the circle.
Close the circle. Right. Say goodbye, Farley.
Goodbye.
Bye.